Hi everyone. It's Friday. It's 7:40 here in New England. Well, this red flag warning will be gone within the next several minutes, within the next 20 minutes. So, um, don't worry about that. But essentially, tonight could there will be dry conditions tonight, cool conditions. So there will be an increased fire threat tonight. If you live throughout New England, especially if you're planning on burning any wood, just be vigilant because the fire conditions are a little bit more intense now than, let's say at another time when we do have more rain on the ground or more moisture. Short term, I'm going to be very brief and to the point here. We do have a cool down in store for us. I'll briefly just show you this. We do have rain this weekend upcoming. So be very careful about, well, not be careful, but there will be some rain, so make your plans accordingly, particularly Saturday night into Sunday. We have a fairly good chance of that happening. Even some, moderate rains could potentially be coming in here. So yet again, just make your plans accordingly, Saturday night into Sunday. Now, we get into next week, particularly Monday and onward. Things get a little interesting here. Particularly, things get kind of tricky after Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday get a little bit tricky to forecast, and then afterwards it just gets totally tricky. But Monday through Tuesday night will be clear. Monday night and Tuesday night, you're gonna need your jackets. Plus, you're going to need to cover up any plants that you have outside. And believe me, those trees that are budding out there, going to be some pretty nasty weather for them. Going to be getting down into the teens and 20s, particularly Tuesday night. But this frost will be lasting for a while. Thursday night will yet again be well below freezing. Wednesday night is a little tricky, and the reason why is because there are some models that are indicating some tricky weather. What happens exactly, like I said, exactly how this is going to pan out, we'll have to really iron things out here because there are a couple models that are indicating, particularly one model, that's indicating some tricky weather between this period here. Okay, and why am I saying tricky? Well, during the nighttime hours, particularly on Wednesday, things might get a little interesting. One of the models I'm looking at is indicating maybe a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit of snow. Okay, how it goes, how it comes about, whether it happens or not, is still an answer that may need to be ironed here. It's possible. Okay, anything is possible because if you notice the low, that's 37. That's pretty darn close to freezing. If it goes any lower, we're going to start talking about concerns for snow. If it stays there or goes higher, then obviously no snow. But areas to our north and west, there will be an increased chance of that because temperatures will be cooler and all of this. So keep that in mind. There's a little bit of a minor concern there, and I'll show you the first model. This is the first one. This is the long-term one, the one I always show you. We're going to kind of jump right to the point. Remember yesterday how I kind of mentioned how there was a minor chance, I kind of mentioned how there was a snowstorm, and I kind of mentioned it here. I kind of sounded confident, and I still am. However, I also mentioned that the models will fluctuate through time. There will be days where they say no snow. There will be days where they do say snow. Just like the way how the cold has been going. And guess what? The cold is on its way. It's coming in, and it's going to be staying here. It's not going to be going back up into the 60s. It's not going to be going back up warm for a while. You can see that this is the time period when I'm watching. It's between next Saturday through next Monday. Okay? And it could be even further out than that. According to this, the trough doesn't stick around here. I'll kind of show you here. You can see the trough isn't deep like it was showing yesterday. However, the low is still here. There it is. What this low has to do is phase with the cool air. And the cool air is only a little bit to the north of that. The center of the low is here. If it can phase with it, then what is going to happen is essentially this low will come through, and as it comes through, it will bring in the cool. Okay, and that's what's going on, is if this phases with the cold, what happens when lows phase with the cold, they become stronger, they become more intense, and what will happen is they will tend to produce or create the dynamic cooling that I was kind of talking a little bit about yesterday. If that happens or not, that will have to be answered only in due time. Whether it happens before this point, whether it happens after this point, whether we get snow after this, or it's just going to have to be answered. It will eventually be answered. But this is a question that only time will answer for right now. As time moves on, according to this, there could be another high pressure setting itself out here. Now, this would not be as warm as we saw this week. I would say maybe 60s and 70s into the region. But again, this is way too far out to say whether it's going to happen or not. It wouldn't be as long lasting. It would only last for about a couple days, and then the cool down would start coming in. Now, the reason why I don't agree with this particular model, and because today has been a very not good day with models, is because it indicates this: a whole northern tier trough doesn't seem likely. I don't see this coming about. Could it be possible? Yes, but I see more of a trough out here, a ridge, and more of a trough like this. That generally seems to be the safe bet. A trough like this, it's not that conclusive. Could we still see a snowstorm with this type of pattern? Oh, yeah. I mean, you get a low like this, and all it has to do is kind of come up like that, and we could get some snow. But this is just not much conclusive. The way how this trough is going, it's not in line with everything else. It's not really conclusive. The pattern over the next several weeks will be warm in this part of the country, more neutral to cooler in here, more warm. It will start actually warming itself out in here as well. This region of the country will be the warmest over the next couple months, or over the next month. This area will be the warmest. Actually, this warm goes down in here. This area will be the coolest. This will be the warm. This will be kind of normal, okay, because things will start warming. This warm is actually going to start spreading itself out to the west coast. So practically the whole country, or most of the country, will be warm. Okay, and then our region will start cooling down. Why is that the case? Well, you look at this. This is the teleconnection, or this is the oscillations. What's going on here is we got the Atlantic, the Arctic oscillation. Now, if you notice, this over the past several days, this has been way high. What does that mean? Well, that means warm. But look at what's going on now. We're starting to go below here. We may go up a tad, and then we may go down. After this point, you notice how things go like this. They go like this. They go way down here. However, you do notice that that this right in here is almost certain. Okay, because you can see how they're all just in agreement with that. So what happens after that, and this is really what's going to answer on whether we're going to get a snow, one of the things that will answer whether we're going to get a snowstorm or not, is whether it continues to go up or if it goes down. You can see they just go all over the place. It's just going to eventually, that's the reason why it will only be able to be answered in time, because if it goes down like this, okay, then yeah, we are in store for a snowstorm, because that means cold. Here's another oscillation I'm looking at, and this is a little bit more conclusive for snow, because that means blocking up in Greenland, which hasn't happened much this year. If you look at most of the winter, it's been practically all positive. Has been all positive. There have practically been no negatives. There was one here and one here. And those were a couple times where we did get snow. Other than that, nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. Last time we were practically low, like what's being predicted here, was back in October. It's been a long time. Okay. Now, the reason why there's things possible and why it's kind of becoming a little tricky is because you can see we kind of come down and then come up. But you notice once you get back out into here, the time period of when we may see the snows gets a little tricky. Things go up, things go down, things go over. It gets tricky in that period. So this is another reason why we're going to need to continue to watch. But it will be lower than much of the year, or what we've been seeing much of the winter, which indicates more rain, which indicates more storms as well. So we will get a little bit more of a stormier pattern. So all of this is generally what's going on. I will show you one final model, and this is the European model. This is 240 hours out. It goes out 240 hours. There's that deep cool down for this week. And then you can see there's kind of some interesting weather that it shows for hour 240. This is interesting because here's a low over New England. Here's a low out here. Okay. The reason why it's interesting is because this low up in here would be producing snow. Why? Because here's the freezing line. Here's the low. It's right in our region, practically in our backyards. And it would be pretty much giving us a little bit of snow. How much snow, I'm not sure. It doesn't really say because I can't really see precipitation with the European one on this website. So what am I trying to point out here? There is a chance of snow. I do see it in our future. How much, how intense, and the exact timing of it is not known yet. Will be answered eventually, and I will update you on everything. Log on to my website, newenglandwxcenter.com, or not, newenglandwxcenter.wordpress.com. Also, my Facebook page, I'm updating also my my own page as me. I update quite frequently. So just stay tuned to everything. Okay. If you want a more in-depth reason of why I believe the snow will happen, do not hesitate to log on to my website, as I have scientific theories, or not really theories, but actual facts to support my theories. And many other things. Log on to my website. I have it all there, all out. And you can log on anytime. So that's, of course, my update for today. I know it was a little long. It was about 13 minutes again, but there's just so much to talk about. So, of course, I hope everyone has a great rest of their Friday, and I will be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Take care.